Knowing that wisdom is gained through suffering, I have a lot to share with you in hopes that your path in life will have the least amount of suffering, but the most amount of wisdom. Because you don't need to go through what everybody else is going through so that you can learn the same lessons that they're going through. Especially because most people aren't on the same wavelength or even in your reality. So there's no point in thinking that they're any significant to your relationship. Now, I'm going to do a few videos like this because I have a lot to share with you in hopes that, and with the intention of, your relationship succeeding. Now, these things I learned through personal experience and through a lot of inner searching and a lot of mistakes. The person that triggers you emotionally, and this is only about romantic relationships where you and this person are or have been together for a while. Not the, okay, before I go anywhere, we need to establish a ground rule thing because there's a lot of people in this world that aren't really people. They're shills. They're organic portals. They are called tares, Tares. They're backdrop characters, etc., etc. Some of those people are actually conscious and awake and they're evolving. They're just acting Neanderthalish because they don't really have a lot of connection to their source, to the originator. They don't know who they are. This isn't about those people because you can find those people on any hookup app. You can find them walking down the street. Those people will indulge you in your negative behavior. The ones with consciousness or the spark of consciousness usually feel some kind of remorse. Even narcissists. Now, I know I bring up narcissists a lot, and we'll get into that some other time. For now, just trust that the originator, source, and the consciousness that exists has your best interest at heart, and in some way is working through me to give you the advice you need, because I'm one of the people that has gone to the depths of reality that most haven't. My sun sign is a Scorpio, my ascendant is Pisces, and my moon sign is Gemini. And they are all cusping. Scorpio cusps Sagittarius, Pisces cusps Aries, and Gemini cusps Cancer. So I have experienced a lot that I really didn't want to experience. And one of the main things I've learned is something that was echoed by Abraham Hicks. The one you're with is the one. It doesn't matter what happened. It doesn't matter what's happening. Every single person has the potential of being the one. Except the ones that are, really, let's just call it for what they are. They're basically mall rats that grew up. They're irrelevant characters in a story. They're the rebound person. If you have a relationship that lasted 5 years or 10 years or even a year, heck, even 6 months, you can have the most profound relationship in your life. The rebounds are the ones that make you feel good all the time. The ones that have no problems, the ones where everything is effortless and smooth and easy because they have no consciousness. They are being influenced by your law of attraction and manifestation abilities constantly. If I wanted to, I could go and you know what I mean. I mean, just look at the comments on some videos. Look at the comments and people make in social media and the dating scene in general. It's full of a bunch of fake lemmings. Like, they're all the same. The packaging is different, but what's inside the package is all the same, which is basically a, boiled egg. The ones that aren't the boiled egg are the ones that you get really pissed off at, the ones that don't do what you want them to do, the ones that trigger every freaking memory and bad experience from your childhood to the ones you haven't even had, and you're like, why am I even experiencing this mess? Oh, right, because this person that's in front of you, or was in front of you, is triggering all of those emotions through you, regardless of what it is you're manifesting, because they are just as much of a manifester as you are, and they are divinely sent to you to get you out of the hell you've put yourself in. The hell where you think wearing Abercrombie and Fitch or H&M or some label, going out to drink, prostituting, drinking, doing all sorts of stupid shit makes you cool and fit into society. The problem is our society is fucked up and it should be deleted. So you fitting into society means you need to be deleted. The people that make you question who you are and make you question your authenticity, make you question how you are in a relationship, if you've made mistakes, if you're doing things the right way, those are the people you need to stick around with. And also, before I go any further from this, please keep everyone else out of your love life. I cannot stress this enough. Other individual human beings or collectives, even psychiatrists, have no right to help you manifest your love life. If you are experiencing problems in your love life, you have every single divinity given source, power, connection, blah, blah, blah inside of you to solve your issues. Venting to someone perpetuates the negative energy stream. Going to a psychiatrist or to a mother or a father to gain advice gives them and you the echoed experiences of each other. You don't move forward. But if you first sit in your own meditative state with your partner, communicating back and forth what's happening in your relationship and how to solve the problem and how to move forward, then you can go and get advice. But if you're just drinking your day away and you're just sleeping around and being a trash bag and you're thinking that the next one's going to be the one, you may as well just put a revolving door around your pants and call it a day, because you're not really putting any effort into your relationship then. So leave other people and their opinions out of it, really, because they're not sleeping with your partner, and if they are, ew. You don't need to involve other people in your relationship. And I know some people are going to be like, oh, that's, weird and you should get advice. Absolutely. After you get advice from yourself. After you sit down and communicate maturely with your partner. After the anger and the tension and the negativity has passed, then if you still need to, go and communicate and bring a third party into the situation and ask what you should do. And then realize by asking others what you should do, you are giving away your power. This experience in life is for you to live and to mess up and to learn and to grow. Bringing other people into your relationship to fix your problems does nothing. And I'm speaking from personal experience. This relationship I was in, we did everything wrong and everything right. And in the process, not only did we learn how to unconditionally love each other, We also learned how to live apart from each other. We also learned how to live together. We learned how to build a home together. We learned how to raise children together. We messed up a lot of things. There was infidelity, there was abuse, there was all sorts of bullshit. And throughout all of it, we are the most amazing people that we know right now. Because we got through it. We actually got through the worst. And we're looking back at the track that we just ran and saying, holy shit, we did it. We got through all of it and we're moving forward into a better future. And during this process, when all of the stress was going on and all of the negativity was going on, the common factor behind all of it, despite our personal issues with each other, the thing that kept the personal issues going was everyone else's involvement. From parental figures saying, oh, just shit or get off the pot. Just, do this or do that. Well, you should maybe do this. But in my 70 years of experience, this has never happened and this shouldn't happen and blah, blah, blah. Well, these people that you're asking advice from don't even know most of the time what energy is or the law of attraction. They don't know what quantum physics is. They don't really know how thoughts and energy work. They don't know how much you love this person. They have an assumption based on the words you use, but they don't really know what you feel. They don't know the sweetness and the gentleness between you two. They don't know the passion and the sexuality. They don't know the fire and the water and the earth and the air between you. They don't know the balance. They only get to see a negative side of the balance or a sugar-coated side of the balance. So asking anyone outside of your relationship is basically asking for a biased opinion. Example being, do you agree with me that partner B is a douchebag because he or she did this? And do you agree that if I leave or cheat, it's the right thing to do based on partner B's recent actions? And the person you're asking is going to say, yeah, in that situation, absolutely. But what they're not asking you in return is, does this person make you happy? Do you feel at home? Are your children happy together? When you look at this person, do you smile inside of you? When you think of that ex that really fucked you over or you really did some horrible shit to, and you can't even stand looking at this person because of not only what they did, but what you did to them in return as retaliation. And now you just feel like shit and you don't know how to fix things. Do you feel when you were with this person that you were at home, not only within yourself, but with them and in their eyes? It doesn't matter how many times you go and have other relationships. That one person that you felt at home with, you're never going to feel that way again with anybody. That's a guarantee, because that person was a direct match to you, from the negative to the positive. And you went through a journey from the negative to the positive, and by the time you got to the positive, you were exhausted from the negative, so you bailed. And then you're basically looking back at it and saying, do I? Don't I? Do I go to a rebound? Do I go to the next one? Do I go back and fix things? Well, each option brings with it its own strings. If you go back, you have to deal with all the social stigma you've created for yourself to keep you away. If you go with a rebound, then for the rest of your life, you're going to have a cliche, the one that got away, or the one that fucked you over, or a scar on your heart that says the person's name. And if you move forward to another, just single life, or you're doing whatever, you're going to constantly be remembering how much each moment with that person was gold compared to every moment you're spending alone in your fancy new life, being single and magnificent and glorious. But it means nothing, because the person you fell in love with in your youth, the person that lived with you and saw the memories that no one will ever know about, it breaks my heart to think that for the rest of my life, the person I knew when I was 16 and how he would throw rocks at my window, I shit you not. At 2 in the morning, he would show up, this gorgeous 20-year-old Irishman named Thomas. He would come and throw rocks at my window, and he'd be like, I'm having, I'm feeling a certain way. And it would usually be love lost, love lorn about this girl he knew. And I was the friend, I was the Velma, from Scooby-Doo to him. And he would come throw rocks at my window, and he would hold my hand and put me in this tiny little white car he had. And we would go to this forest preserve in the middle of the night and start a tiny little campfire. And all the deer in the forest that would see the campfire would slowly start moving through the woods. And we would just sit there, and he would like squeeze me real tight because I was afraid of the dark. And we would just talk all night, just talking. He would then come and pick me up on other days, and we would go to these churches that had, the back doors open or the front doors open. This was like in 1995. And we would go into these churches, and he would sit on the pianos and play different Beethoven songs or different classical music while I laid on the floor of the church looking at the ceiling. No one knows these things. Or, well, now you do. But whoever I'm with next, if anyone, isn't going to know all of that stuff. He or she isn't going to know what I went through and every pain and every love that I experienced through all my lifetimes, not just this, to get me to be so open-hearted and forgiving and to move forward regardless of what happened. I was in a very abusive relationship in my 20s. I mean, really, really freaking abusive, from a guy who was addicted to multiple different medications and had a whole bunch of problems. And he was very physical and very verbally abusive. And I didn't realize back then that I was echoing things in my subconscious through that relationship with him. And he was broken for years after we broke up. He was a mess. His life spiraled down. He couldn't function. And then he picked himself back up. He built a business. He did everything else. And then he was a great guy, and he still is. But during that process, had I known that, hey, that relationship could be fixed if I actually realize and have the self-awareness that this stuff happening is because it's trying to show me something within me. And now that person is just another name in my, history book of life. Like, oh, so-and-so person I dated, so-and-so person that, broke my heart, or I broke their heart. And it doesn't have to be that way. Relationships before, there were people who were together for like 80, 90 years. High school sweethearts that spent the rest of their lives together. You ever seen The Notebook? Like, having a bittersweet relationship is bittersweet. You don't need to have that. Movies glorify it. Books romanticize it. TV shows make separating and moving on so easy. But in real life, your heart suffers when you take yourself away from the love of your life. And then you delve into addictions and terrible behavior, and you spend years getting yourself back on your feet just to be where you were before you met that person. It's pointless. Everything I have learned in my life, I could have learned with any one of them had I had the awareness. But I had to go through all of that to gain the awareness, which means the next relationship I'm in will be the one. Absolutely, because I will not ever, ever give up or turn my back on this person. I won't be indulging in needless fights. I won't be arguing just to hear myself argue and use memes. I won't be, being a bitch just to go drinking and to have a night at a bar or to cheat. If you're doing those things that make you feel like you're proud of what you did, shame on you. Really. Because not only are you breaking your own heart in the future when you look back at the horrible shit you did to each other and to yourself, but you're breaking the heart of someone who could be the one for you. Now, there are some basic rules, okay? For example, the person I was with for 7, 8 years, if I dated somebody during that relationship or afterwards, that relationship is irrelevant. It is a band-aid. It will go nowhere. It will do nothing. No matter, even if you spend 50 years with this person, the depth level won't go past iceberg, tip of the iceberg. Because that person was just manifested for you to get you through a hard time in your life. The person that you and the person that went through the hard time are the ones that you were supposed to work things out with because you were the vibratory match on both spectrums. And you can research this yourself. I'm not trying to pass an agenda at all. Matches made in heaven that go through hell are designed to get back to heaven because that's where they were manifested. Matches made in hell, which is where pain is, don't go anywhere. And the way you can gauge this is the person you're with, the person you're looking at, the romantic person you're sharing your genitals with. Do you have the depth of feeling with them to where just, and look at this and feel this, okay? Don't hear what I'm saying, feel what I'm saying. If this person touches your fingertip, just like this is your fingertip. I don't know if you're looking at the screen or not, but just look at it for now. Like your finger's right there, and this person comes just that close. And your body immediately wants to go bloop and connect. As if you can't stand being apart from them. There's some gravitational pull. Me and my previous partner had this. It was astounding. It was pure magic, honestly. I mean, he's the one I kept referring to as my twin, which he taught me basically. I mean, if you want to categorize it as twin flames, that's what it is. Because when we came together, we pretty much told the status quo of how relationships should be done to fuck off. And we've changed everything, which is where I've learned a lot of this from, through my relationship with him. When I first saw him, something in me, deep down in me, clicked. And not in a attraction way. He's beautiful, but not in an attraction way. In a sense of knowing, like, it's you. It's you. There is no question about it. There's nothing about it. He walked off that airplane, got out of the, checkpoints, and as soon as he got a foot in front of me, my hand reached out to him and we walked away. 7 years later, we had a house, a whole bunch of things, and a beautiful love story to teach the world how to be a better, to love better. When you're with the one you're supposed to be with, regardless of how horrible the relationship is or was, you know that this person, without ever saying a thing, you can go 24 hours without talking to each other, but you're still in the same room, and it's fine. You can spend every moment of the day with each other without doing or saying anything, and it's fine. You don't get tired of each other. You can have any form of intimacy with each other, and it's the best intimacy ever. You can even just sit there staring at each other, and it's almost better than sex, because they do something energetically inside you that you're doing to them. It is a resonance, a it's a match. There's a line in Ever After. It's an old like 1998 movie where Prince Henry is like completely, pissed off that this girl lied to him and did all this stuff, and then Da Vinci is like, Henry, she's your match. And it's true. The people that really piss you off to the point where you need to change who you are and you see that things can't work, they're the ones you're supposed to work things out with. The person I was with, we worked a lot of things out. But when other people got involved and we became modern society lemmings, things didn't work out because we weren't true to who we were. Imagine Jesus and Mary Magdalene turning into bar hoppers and social media twits. Like, is that relationship going to go anywhere anymore? What kind of foundation are they setting for the new, twin flame unions or sacred unions or whatever? The person you're with that triggers the darkness in you is triggering it in you because it's time for you to get the darkness out of you. And if you get the darkness out of you and then you stick to some excuse, you didn't really get it out of you. If you still have hate in you or anger, do you really think the relationship you're in now is any better? You're basically hiding something. Think about it. After a while, after the separation period with me and my person, there was a point where I thought about going into another relationship, and then the thought hit me like a freaking truck. You do realize you're still in pain, right? And I thought to myself, yeah, so that guy over there will solve my pain for at least a day. And then the thought continued, okay, but after that day, you're going to have even more pain because you're going to realize that not only did you not solve the relationship issue that you're dealing with that's causing you pain, but now you added more pain on top of it of sharing your sexual energy with somebody who has no respect for you. And this person that you're with or that you're going to be with, are they the, be 100 years old feeding ducks together on a bench? Or are they just there because you have a nice dick or nice tits? Or because they can use the home you have, or, they like your cats? Relationships aren't easy, especially when they're in this world, in this consciousness state. Because we have to learn how to be better. And if we turn our backs on everybody who's teaching us how to be better, or showing us how to be better, or reminding us how to be better, then what's the point of even being in a monogamous relationship? Think about it. If you don't have the longevity within you to get through a problem and get to the other side, what makes you think the next relationship is going to be better? Because you're basically just replaying the same movie to the same point in the movie and then stopping watching the movie when it gets to the real part. Me and my person, we went through the entire movie, replayed it over and over, and then, things happened. And due to those things happening and the separations and bullshit, I personally have learned that fighting solves nothing. Cheating solves nothing. Blame solves nothing. Bringing people into the relationship to back you up or to back the other person up or to solve your problems as a neutral party does nothing. Nothing. Because those people don't know the simple, sensitive, gentle heart within your partner and yourself. They're only there to ease the wildfire you both caused. So, if you're going to do anything, first and foremost, admit to yourself that you fucked up. Second, admit that you don't know what you're doing and you're learning. Third, sit down, look at your partner, extend your hand out. Let your partner hold your hand gently and say to them, "Love of my life, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you." And after that, you continue to say something along the lines of, "I have no idea what I'm doing, but I love you enough to learn. If something is hurting you, please let me know. If I can do something better, please let me know. If there's something you need, if there's something you want, if there's something you'd like to experience, if I'm doing something wrong, if there's something about me you don't appreciate right now, or if I've said something wrong, let me know. Don't stew. Don't pickle your negative emotions. Communicate it out and solve it. It doesn't mean that you need to sit there talking about your problems all day long. It means you need to communicate honestly, because the person that you're supposed to be with, because they're your match, like me and my person, things would have been a lot easier if we were just completely honest with each other. Like, you did some shit that I really didn't like, and it made me feel a certain way. And during that process, I did some really stupid things, and I really want to fix this. So how do we do this? And then that person would probably go and say, "Oh, blah, blah, blah," or "we can do this, or we can do that." As long as communication is open, regardless of how immature or how mature it starts, open the lines of communication with each other. And then take the blame out of it, take the finger pointing out of it. Because the basis, the goal is harmony. The heart of the solution is that you two have a beautiful life together. And in order for that to happen, there has to be honesty. And honesty doesn't mean being mean. It means being honest. Like those moments where you're laying down, looking at your partner, and you're just gazing into each other's eyes. Or you're making pancakes, and he walks up behind you and gives you a kiss on the neck. Or you're just standing there and suddenly he's right by your side with a cup of coffee. Or he comes home with a puppy. Like, all these things, these moments are what matter. And if you can talk to your person with the gentleness and the sweetness within you, to cherish and preserve those moments and to make more of them, you can get through anything. But if you're focused on the negative and you keep thinking that it's going to get more negative, or that it was too terrible to rebuild, or that too much happened to fix, then you're just running away from your problems, and you're going to repeat them in the next relationship. Because it's the record you're playing within you. It's going to repeat until you fix it. I truly hope that you find love within yourself, so that the world around you reflects that love back. And in order for that to happen, you have to have compassion for yourself. No matter what happened, you did nothing